The Company Man, from Malaysian indie studio Forest, released on Nintendo Switch and PC a while back, but has finally made its way to the PlayStation 4 and 5 consoles, as well as Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles. The Company Man follows the tale of Jim, a brand new employee at the Good Water Company. During his first day on the job, he gets demoted down to a lowly customer service agent. However, Jim is a man of ambition, and he's staying true to his vow to eventually become CEO of the company. Players will have to help Jim climb the corporate ladder, so to speak, but as with all things in life, this is easier said than done. The Company Man allows you to control Jim with ease. You'll be able to move quite freely through the game's 2D side-scrolling platforming environments, with traversal feeling fluid and enjoyable. Platforming is the core mechanic, and platforming you shall, with the game featuring a ton of obstacles that get in your way. Jim's primary moveset is jumping and dashing, and there's going to be a lot of this happening in the Company Man. Of course, you'll also be facing off against other employees with the help of your trusty office keyboard, and, as you progress throughout the game, you'll unlock upgrades which make your rise to the top even more enjoyable, and a little easier. Now, one of the first things that struck me was the graphics. The Company Man featured some fantastic backgrounds and environments. Each floor of the Good Water Company is dedicated to a specific theme, and the game runs wild with this. Customer service, for example, has enemies that are all call center agents that breathe fire, while human resources has enemies that use piles of documents as projectile weapons. This continues throughout the game, and enemy variation is definitely something to be praised and enjoyed. The creativity of the developers here really shines through, since the enemies are both dastardly and very cleverly designed. The soundtrack is nothing spectacular, but it does serve its purpose of complementing the game's visuals. There also isn't much in the way of voice acting, apart from some mumbles from Jim and a few NPCs. Taken as a whole, the gameplay in the Company Man is a bit of a mixed bag though. There are some segments of the games which are brutally difficult, even on the normal difficulty setting I started on, and you're just going to have to get good at dodging enemy projectiles or environmental hazards to make any progress. Thankfully, Jim can replenish his health at coffee machines scattered throughout the levels, and for the most part they're well placed. As previously mentioned though, some segments are very difficult to get past, and that frustration does build up when you find yourself dying for the 5th or 6th time trying to get through a particularly devilish area. Boss battles in the Company Man are just as varied as the locations and basic enemies, but again, the difficulty of these fights might put off some gamers. You have to memorize attack patterns and perform dodges and attacks perfectly if you want to defeat some of them. Your limited health pool and the need to precisely jump and dodge at the right time make some of the boss fights feel like an exercise in planning, more than reactive or adaptive combat. Now, overall, the Company Man on PlayStation 5 runs flawlessly, and is still a solid action platformer. The difficulty spikes throughout the game might put off some gamers, but other than that, this is a very cookie-cutter-esque platforming game, with some particularly gorgeous visuals and enemy designs. I felt some of the writing in the game could be a little cringe-worthy, and of course it relies too much on work-oriented stereotypes, but this should be taken with a grain of salt, since the action is what we're here for anyway. So, if you want an action platformer that won't break the bank, the Company Man is the indie game for you. It's fun, despite the challenging difficulty, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, coming in at just about 4 hours long.